Okay guys, so today we are going to be looking at the unluckiest Loomian legacy player I know. Loomian Hype 154. This dude is an OG player who has been playing since 2019 and has the pleasure of finding multiple very rare finds, but he just ends up doing bad investment trades, gets shocked sometimes, and just overall he's just pretty bad at trading. So yeah, let's get right into it. This all started back in mid 2020 during the Gekla event when Loomian Hype caught his first proper rare find, Gleaming Sapphire Gekla, which was the rarest and most expensive event Loomian at the time, except Grinch. So this Loomian basically made him one of the richest players in the game nearly instantly. Right after he got the Gleam Sapphire Geklau, he got a pretty good offer for it at that time, which was a Gleam Sapphire Eliguana and a Gleam Ruby Geklau, which was a win at that time. And he decided not to do it. And he got a much worse offer, which consisted of Gleaming Halloween Sochi, Gamma Mutagon, Gleam Pyramid, and Gleam Dusket, which he did decide to take it, which is quite surprising. After that, he caught quite a bunch of rares and proceeded to upgrade everything to a GHW Purple Dusket and a couple Gleam Roams, which he proceeded to trade for a 2019 Gleaming Halloween Gastro, which was, I believe, a small L at that time. And then he made a mistake. He traded the Gastroke and the Sochi for a Gamma Dusket, Gamma Ferroglyph, and quite a few Gleam Duskets. But remember, this was in a time where gamma roams were fantastic demand and not many of them existed, and everybody went for gamma roams rather than gleam events because they looked much cooler. Gamma Ferroglyph was really good demand too. And after that, he did a bunch of trading and he did a bunch of hunting and ended up with this inventory right here, Gamma Wobelisk, and a bunch of Gleaming Christmas 2020 Isigul's, which was worth around 0.8 GR at that time. And I cannot be sure, but I think the Wobelisk was his OT. Next, he traded the Isigul's one by one for overpays at that time. For example, if the Isigul was 0.8, he used to trade it for 1 GR or 1.5 GR. You get the point. At that time, those were overpays and he got rid of them one by one. And next, he came upon the opportunity to trade for either a gleaming ruby Eliguana or a sluggish gleaming Halloween red dusket, which were worth around 8 GR at the time, but he paid over 9 GR, I think, for the gleaming ruby Eliguana, and he decided not to trade for the dusket, which again is quite a sad trade because right now ruby Eliguana is doing 25 mad demand while dusket is doing 60 plus, pretty good demand. And after that, he ended up with this Gleaming Ruby Eliguana, 3 Gleaming 2020 Isigools, and a couple GRs lying around here and there. And then he decided to trade his Isigools, quite a bunch of them, to a guy named Master Kerem BLT for, well, a bunch of random stuff which was an overpay at the time. Master Kerem BLT loves overpaying for Isigools, by the way. He has a bunch of gleaming navy Isigools and stuff, so I'm not surprised. And again, he did a mistake. He traded his gleaming Christmas Ikazune just before it rose for a Gamma Dusket, which was around 5 GR. And the Ikazune, I believe, was pure Nimble. So that's 13 GR right now. So that's another quite a sad L. And after that, he ended up with this inventory right here, Gleam, Ruby, Eliguana, and a bunch of stuff. All the Isigools were gone, and he ended up with these, which right now are worth much lesser than the Isigools. You gotta remember, Gleaming 2020 Isigools are doing 6 plus GR now, and he traded them for 0.8 to 1.5. Gleaming Navy Isigools, which has been heavily hoarded, is going for 8 plus GR, I believe, which is absolute madness. Then Christmas event came along and he caught a gleaming Halloween yellow Ikazune and he caught some other rare finds too. And then he did a bunch of trading and ended up with this pretty hot inventory. I think he caught the Protagon too, gleaming Halloween Protagon. He traded his ruby and everything he had for 4 gleaming Halloween Ikazuns, out of which one was his OT, so that means 3 gleaming Halloween Ikazuns. Remember, this was before they rose, so they weren't worth much. And well, he traded one of the Ikazuns for what seemed to be a good deal at that time, which is three gleaming Christmas propaes and a gleaming brown Isigul. But sadly, that's again an L in today's terms. And after that, he proceeded to upgrade every single thing he had, except the gleaming brown Isigul from the previous trade, into a hyper foolish gamma maroon Isigul, which is well, I wouldn't say that's a good trade because the gleaming Halloween Ikazuns were rising pretty quickly, and that Isiguls, the 2021 ones, weren't really doing too well. So yeah, that's debatable, but I'd say that's a bad trade. And then after that, he did an actually bad trade of trading the Isigul for a Gleam Ruby Gekla, Gleam Emerald Gekla, and ads. Well, that's a very bad trade because every single Gleam event Gekla except Gleam Sapphire ain't doing too well right now, man. Shouldn't have done that. And also, gotta mention, in the Christmas event, the 2021 Christmas event, he caught quite a few gleaming Isiguls, colored Isiguls, and a Gamma Christmas propae, which is absolutely nuts. He traded all of them, and he also traded the Gleaming Emerald Gekla and Gleaming Ruby Gekla. He ended up with these: a pure number Gamma Cosmere, a ton of Gleam Cosmeres, bunch of just madman stuff, you know? That's just sad. He traded the Gleam Ruby Geklau for a PN Gamma Cosmere, an Indiv Gleaming Christmas Ikazone, and 15 Gleam Cosmeres. And he somewhat got shocked here, but not really because the dude who traded in the 15 Gleam Cosmeres valued each of them at 1 GR, and he said he had been offered 1 GR multiple times. And they're coming back, so what's the point? They don't even get like 0.5. They're like 1 in 8k, dude. They're common. So yeah, he ended up with a bunch of madman stuff, and even the brown color Isigul, brown gleam Isigul, is not really great. It's the worst demand colored Isigul, I think. And then, well, that just about brings us to the end, you know. Now he's actually trying to make it back. He has got some decent trades. He has traded the Cosmeres, not all of them, but some of them for pretty good wins. And he traded the Gamma Pure Nimble Cosmere for a pretty damn good trade just before they returned, so that's nice. And he also traded the Gleam Emerald Gekla for a pretty sweet win. So it's not like he doesn't know values, but he's just done quite a few really unfortunate decisions over time. So yeah. So if you guys are wondering how much value he would have had if he just didn't trade, like didn't trade anything, just kept his OTs, I did the math. I cannot be 100% sure, but this is a rough estimate. Gleam Sapphire Gekla is going for over 300, over 350 sometimes Gleam Rome value. Gleaming Halloween Ikazuna is going for over 30 Gleam Rome value because I believe he's just pure nimble. And well, Gamma Christmas Propae is going for over 60 GRs. And if you just combine quite a few of his other rare finds, he would have had about 470 GR value if he just didn't trade. Just because he traded and made a few bad decisions along the way, he has around 30 to 40 GR value right now, which is lesser than 10% of what he would have had if he just kept his stuff. But you need to know, he knows values, he's just quite unlucky. His recent trades have been pretty good wins, especially the Gamma Cosmere one. So, I mean, looks like he's on the path to becoming rich again, but just wanted to share the story.